Good evening. It's a Thursday. So mad. And still working on Weezils. I'm still trying to get some kind of album off the ground from in here. And it's episode 23. Going to start with something slightly different. 1, 2, 3. So I got this from Reverb about a week ago. I think I mentioned it on the episode previously, but I haven't gone into much detail about it. It's the Acoustic Attack AGX Tone Shaper preamp. It replaces basically a there's a fly in here that if I get an opportunity to swat it, I am going to give it hell. It's called the Gawker Spanish fly. It was about 40 quid, brand new. Had pretty much the same features minus a couple, which I'll get into, but I'd only used it twice or 3 times live, and it worked fine. So I wouldn't be able to judge its performance on that merit. I know what it sounded like when I had it plugged into the desk, and that's about as much. But this, I think, when it was originally released, was at a higher price point than that. It certainly looks the part. It's all aluminium body. Everything feels really solid, and it's a fairly sophisticated preamp. You can blend the mix between the preamp and the signal from the whatever pickup system you have in the guitar, which is nice, and you can bypass it. There's a boost and a sweepable mid, which is also very nice. So I've been having to play around with it, and I'll talk a bit about what I'm going to do with it, or maybe do with it in Weezils. But I thought I'd give you a comparison between just the piezo itself and then what difference it makes. So I'll play a little bit with just the straight signal, no preamp, and then switch it on and give you the comparison. I think it makes a lovely difference. I think it would immediately a much more inspiring sound straight away. So yeah, I like it. Definitely feels like a step up from that for not a lot of money from Frank, about the same as it was new, and this feels like a massive upgrade. And it looks nice on the desk, which is not a bad thing after all, right? Anyway, so I thought the reason I got this kind of all sort of plugged in and getting going is because I started to think about, again with Weezils coming out of the last video that I posted, that I sort of made it muddier, and essentially James tasked me with playing with the guitar sound. I feel totally validated in adding the acoustic in, so I started playing around with that to try and get a sound to fit into that mix, essentially, with the idea that essentially the offbeat thing would be really easily achieved and much less muddy, like no strumming distortion. I can get the same kind of, I don't know, sustainy feel in some sense from an acoustic if I'm picking. I can create kind of rhythm that way and some sparkles. So but yeah, so I thought I'd give that a go. So that's why, that's how that's come about. And so yeah, I'm going to give that a crack. I did a little bit yesterday, but I hadn't really got to grips with that, and probably not worth playing at this point, but might put some at the end. So I had another sit down with James. I've just put a podcast up on YouTube, which I'm still waiting for Apple to approve my podcast, my first podcast. So I've published Sheds, Weezils, Beezils and Bars, number 1, 2 weeks ago, or nearly 2 weeks ago now, on the Apple podcast site. After my discussion with Will, actually. So that went up, and still waiting for confirmation that it's gone live, but it's been uploaded. But anyway, I recorded the 4th with James yesterday, and we got through a fuckload of stuff, including a lot of chat about aliens, which, hey, I'm just going to say aliens are real. But anyway, and it came to the conclusion that after I did record some acoustic, and no, it's not going to, it's going to possibly fly as a, it's like a, when we do it as a duo, sort of probably work well as a duo, and I've sent him the whole project back, so he's got all of those elements. But I am circling back round because the acoustic guitar part is not going to go into the album version, and I'm back onto the bass, which I think I've got a final version of. I just need to gain enough skill to be able to record it, and then everything will be fine, which I'm going to try and do sort of now. But yeah, it was good chat, and I think we've got to a place I think we want with the mix. I think he's going to re-record the vocal, and we obviously need to tackle the third verse, or whatever it does. The more I listen to it, the more I'm not sure we should do a third verse or not, but more to come on that. But anyway, so some bass to play out, I guess.
I've been thinking back to all the pain of dormitory days. I've been thinking about the vengeance that I'd like to reclaim, and the methods I'd administer to reclaim my truth. As an adult, I'd be stronger than my weakness in you.